It's alright. You can just lay there, okay? Make sure that you're all snugged up in your blankets and relaxed, okay? I'm just gonna read you a few funny bedtime stories. Nothing special, just calming and relaxing, and hopefully you'll be able to fall right asleep. The Velveteen Rabbit. A soft and fluffy Velveteen Rabbit lived in a toy box in a boy's room. Each day, the boy opened the toy box and picked up the Velveteen Rabbit, and the Velveteen Rabbit was happy. Then, newer, brighter toys came into the toy box. They had special tricks. Some could move when the boy pushed a button. Others bounced higher. The Velveteen Rabbit had no special tricks or buttons. No wonder the boy started to choose these new toys. At night, when the toys were all back in the toy box, the other toys talked with pride about the fine things they can do. Velveteen Rabbit was quiet. There was not much to say. Only one other toy in the toy box was like the Velveteen Rabbit. Cowboy Horse was also a soft, fluffy toy, but he was old. Most of his hair was worn away. He had only one eye left. The Cowboy Horse said to the Velveteen Rabbit, "Soft toys like us are really the lucky ones. We get loved the most. And when soft toys get loved and loved, we can become real." "What is real?" said the Velveteen Rabbit. "Being real is the best," said Skin Horse. "You can move around when you want to move. When you are real, if you are loved, you can show your love back." One day, Nana, who took care of the boy, flew open the lid of the toy box. She said in a busy tone, "Oh dear, that walking doggy is missing again. I must find something else for the boy." In a second, Velveteen Rabbit was plopped down onto the bed with the boy. This began another happy time for Velveteen Rabbit. Each night the boy would hold Velveteen Rabbit close in his arms. In the morning, the boy would show Velveteen Rabbit how to make rabbit holes under the sheets. If the boy went outside to a picnic or to the park, Velveteen Rabbit would come with him too. After a while, with the hugging and holding, much of Velveteen Rabbit's fur got matted down. Its pink nose grew less pink with all the boy's kisses. But Velveteen Rabbit did not care. It was happy. One day, the boy became sick. His forehead got very hot. The doctor came and went. Nana walked back and forth in fear. Day after day, the boy stayed in bed. There was nothing for Velveteen Rabbit to do but to stay in bed too, day after day. Then at last, the boy got better. Such joy in the house. The doctor said the boy must go to the shore. How wonderful, thought Velveteen Rabbit. Many times the boy had talked happily about the shore and told of its white sands and the big blue ocean. "What about this old bunny?" Nana asked the doctor. "That old thing," said the doctor. "It's full of scarlet fever germs. Burn it at once. Get him a new bunny." So Velveteen Rabbit was thrown into a sack along with the boy's bed sheets and old clothes and a lot of junk. The sack was carried to the backyard. The gardener was told to burn the whole thing. But the gardener was too busy with picking the beans and the peas before nightfall, so he had left the sack behind. I'll take care of it tomorrow," he said. The sack was not tied at the top, and Velveteen Rabbit fell out. The next day, when the gardener picked up the sack to take it away to be burned, Velveteen Rabbit was not in it. Then it started to rain. Velveteen Rabbit was sad. So far away from the boy, never again to be nice and cozy together, and now soaking wet. A tear fell from Velveteen Rabbit's eye over his cheek. It plopped onto the grass. All at once, at the spot where the tear fell, a flower grew up. The then bud of the flower opened. A tiny fairy.
"Little rabbit,"
said the fairy.
"do you know who I am?"
"I wish I did," said the Velveteen Rabbit.
"I am the fairy that takes care of toys that are well loved,"
said the fairy. By then, Velveteen Rabbit was shabby and gray. The boy had loved off all of its whiskers. The pink lining in the ear had long turned gray. Its brown spots, once fresh and bright, were now faded and hard to see. "It's time now for me to make you real," said the fairy.
I think I remember real,"
said Velveteen Rabbit. Now, what was it the cowboy horse had said? Ah, yes. When you are real, you can move when you want to move. If you are loved, you can love back. With one touch of the fairy's wand, Velveteen Rabbit felt different, tickly. All of a sudden, each one of its two legs sewed together tight could move. A fly landed on Velveteen Rabbit's hat, and it was itchy. As quick as a wink, that foot was up at the Velveteen Rabbit's head to scratch it off.
"So this is being real. I can move when I want to move."
"I will show you some new friends," said the fairy. and the fairy took Velveteen Rabbit where several rabbits ran and hopped about. Soon they were all great friends. Time went by. The boy was back from the shore. He was all better now. One day, the boy went to the backyard to play. From the trees nearby, a few rabbits hopped down. One rabbit was brown all over, and another one was all white. A third rabbit had brown spots, most of them faded. That one hopped closest to the boy. The boy thought,
Why, this is my rabbit that looked just like my old bunny when I lost and I was sick. I love that bunny.
What he didn't know was that it was his very own bunny. For here was the reason the Velveteen Rabbit had become a real. The end. And that was the Velveteen Rabbit. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, I can't leave you on just one book. I have a few more for you. Oh, you don't need to keep your eyes open. You can have them closed. I just want to help you have sweet dreams. Instead of counting bunnies, you can listen to my voice. Imagine the bedtime stories in your head and count some bunnies in your sleep. You'll be having the sweetest of dreams in no time. This next one, I'm going off of memory, so you won't hear any book noises, but it means that I can pat your head with both hands this time. Which, I like at least. Hopefully you like as well. This one is the short story of the rabbit in the moon. A long, long time ago, the man in the moon was gazing down on the earth. He looked at the dolphins playing in the waves. He smiled at the penguins sliding on their bellies across the ice. When he looked into the forest, he noticed a fluffy red fox and a funny brown rabbit sitting by a fire. A monkey was jittering around them. The man in the moon laughed. "Silly monkey," he said. "He can't even sit still for a moment by the fire with his friends. He's clearly the funniest of Earth's creatures." Then the man in the moon started wondering who was the kindest. The fox is sly, the rabbit is swift, but which of these three is the kindest, he wondered. So he thought of a plan. The next day, the man in the moon showed up on Earth disguised as a homeless beggar. "Please," he said to these three friends sitting by the fire, could you find me something for me to eat?" Feeling sorry for the man, the monkey was the first to run off into the forest. Grabbing a large leaf, he formed a pouch and filled it with an assortment of fruits and nuts. He raced back to the fire to deliver the meal to the beggar. "This is wonderful," the man in the moon said. "Surely you are the kindest animal on earth." "Wait," said the fox. "Fruits and nuts are fine, but I will bring you fish to cook you on the fire. Then your belly will be full and you will be satisfied." He dashed off to the river, returning with buckets filled with fish. The fox immediately started to cook them for the beggar. "Delicious! Surely you're the kindest animal on earth," the man in the moon said. A tear fell from the rabbit's eyes.
"I cannot think of anything to bring you to eat that would be better than the wonderful fruits and nuts my friend the monkey brought you, or as delicious as the fish the fox fried. But I know you would enjoy the taste of freshly cooked rabbit,"
cried the rabbit. Immediately, the rabbit tossed himself into the fire. "Stop!" the fox shrieked. "Stop!" The monkey squealed. "Stop!" The man in the moon shouted, and he reached into the fire to pull the rabbit out. The fox, the monkey, and the rabbit stared at the man who no longer looked like a homeless beggar. "What? It's the man in the moon!" the fox cried. "Indeed it is," agreed the monkey. The man in the moon explained how he came to the earth to find he was the kindest creature. "And I now know it's the rabbit," he said. "But what about me?" the fox asked. "Yes, and what about me?" the monkey mimicked. "We're just as kind. Look at the wonderful meals we brought you." "Indeed, you were both very kind," the man in the moon said. But only the rabbit was willing to give up everything he had for the stranger. He was willing to give up his life. So the rabbit went to live on the moon with the man. On clear nights, if you look really carefully, you can see the rabbit right there besides the smiling face of the man on the moon. Sometimes kindness is rewarded in most unusual ways. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Of course, I still have more stories for you. I don't know if you're still awake, but I'd love to give you more. This next one, I'm bringing out the book again. I won't be batting ears much, but I'll be making sure I make nice tapping noises as I read. This next story is called Puffer Bunny and the Escape to the Meadow. Once upon a time, there was a little bunny named Puffer Bunny. He was so fluffy that everyone wanted to cuddle him. He lived with some kids in a comfy bungalow. These kids were named Bobo, Bobby, and Kit. Bobby was especially fond of little Puffer because he had raised him from a baby. One day, they were playing in the backyard, and the Puffer Bunny took off jumping and prancing. He wiggled under the fence and netted off through the pasture behind the house. By the time the kids could get over the fence, Puffer was long gone. Meanwhile, Puffer had scurried down into a hole and was crawling through a long tunnel. He felt something wet and cold. He held his breath in fear, but when his eyes adjusted to the darkness, he realized he was nose to nose with another little bunny. He let out a sigh of relief. The new little bunny whispered, "My name is Doodlebug." Doodlebug took Puffer by the paw and led him down through more passages and into a cozy little burrow. His brothers and sisters were snuggled together, all warm and safe. There was Dipsy, Dapper, and Dolly, and the baby twins, Didger and Dodger. Puffer was thrilled to see a whole family of bunnies. However, outside of the little burrow, The kids were worried sick about their little bunny. They saw a little fox trot off deep into the woods. They just knew that their fox had gotten their little Puffer. Bobby cried quietly while Bobo and Kit tried to figure out what to do. Bobo said, "Guys, it's time we headed home." All the kids climbed back over the fence and trudged home. The night was long with worry. Back in the bunny burrow, Puffer was really enjoying himself. He and Doodlebug slipped out for a little mischief. See, Puffer was always exploring, and Doodlebug could never say no to an adventure. The two frisky bunnies frolicked towards the woods. Just as they were approaching a rotten log, a rattlesnake slithered up. The two bunnies froze. The snake had the bunnies cornered. Their hearts were pounding so loud that the earth shook. The snake said, "Yum, dinners," and his body lurched forward at Doodlebug. Quickly, Puffer Bunny jumped over the snake and grabbed the rattle and shook it with all his might. What a sound it made! That snake jumped up in surprise, which gave the two buddies just enough time to get on out of there. Doodlebug's mom rang the dinner bell just as they were coming back to the rabbit hole. She saw the looks on their faces and gave them each a hearty hug. She had fixed a dinner of cabbage and carrots, and they ate all they could. When the fluffy little bunnies finished their dinner, they invited Puffer to spend the night. He was delighted. The next morning, Puffer pranced on home to his little bungalow. The kids were overjoyed that he was safe. And the end. Looks like you're asleep. Hopefully you enjoyed the story. I know you're not exactly a kid, but sometimes nostalgia can really bring it back. I mean, sometimes it sucks being an adult, having to worry about things and taxes and worries and stress and all of the big boy things that you never had to worry about when you were a kid. So sometimes it's nice to just be babied like I was doing with you. Being read a bedtime story isn't all that bad. Getting patted on your head and allowing yourself to just be nurtured should be totally okay. You shouldn't feel bad for it. You should just let me give you all the love that you deserve, okay? I appreciate you, and I hope you have the sweetest of dreams.
Chew.
And maybe I'll read you a few more stories in your sleep, as long as you're okay with that. I'm sure you are. Sweet dreams. Don't worry, I'll be here by your side when you wake up. This one goes off of memory as well. There won't be any fancy or book readings. It'll just be me and you, and stories of the past. Once upon a time, there were a happy family of bunnies.